Hello, everybody listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I'm here with Mr. Alex Rodriguez. We have a special guest in the building today. Well, he's not in the building because we don't got a building yet because A-Rod, we waiting on A-Rod for that one. But we got a special guest on the Zoom call today, Mr. Jamaal. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Jamaal, a.k.a. The Mall Report. You can follow me on IG, on YouTube, up-and-coming sports broadcaster, video content creator. Really I love to tell people's story. I love the color and the art and really give exposure to athletes, musicians, artists. Definitely glad to be on the show today. Appreciate y'all having me. Rome was on here before. I heard y'all a couple times. Y'all be really holding it down. So I'm glad that I get to get up with y'all tonight, man.
Funny enough, when Rome was on the show, we did a Super Bowl preview. We did a Super Bowl prediction in the beginning. That was right before the season started. I know for a fact he picked the Seahawks and the Chiefs, both wrong. A-Rod, who'd you pick?
Green Bay and the Chiefs.
Both wrong. I was wrong with mine. Who you picked, Jamaal? Do you remember?
I had my Cowboys sneaking in there to go against the Chiefs.
You said you Cowboys.
How about them?
I should have.
You see what's going on. You see what's going on, right? This is Fly Eagle Fly game over here.
Y'all had a good season, baby.
Y'all had a good season, though.
Hey,
we had a Cowboy season, bro. We had drama and we had wins against opponents that don't really make noise.
That's facts.
Yeah.
I mean, at least got a Jets fan like Mr. A-Rod over here.
I was gonna say we kept the water warm for you in Cabo, so don't worry about it. Ain't no biggie there. So.
Hey, but look, how many times can you say this? The Jets might have beat the Super Bowl champs.
They have. They beat the Rams last year and they beat the Bengals this year. So
they beat the Rams last year?
They did beat the Rams last year.
Damn.
That's what got Goff out of there. McVay was like, nah, like what are we doing?
Oh yeah, Goff was like, you gonna lose to the Jets?
Adam Gase beat the Rams last year. Just know that. That's some shit. All right, so episode 55. Obviously, we have a co-host or we have a guest on the show, so we're going to be getting to know him. We're going to talk Super Bowl, open dialogue, have fun with it. NBA talk. Once again, the trade deadline is approaching, so all going to be open dialogue. And then we're going to have a fun segment at the end like we always do. We're going to do start, bench, cut, and we're going to do young players in the NFL and in the NBA. You got to start, bench, cut one. So that's what we'll finish up with. But I mean, let's get into the show. Jamaal, thank you for jumping on, man. Much appreciation. I've known Rome since my FGCU days. That's when I first met him. So we go back a long way, and any friend of Rome is a friend of mine. So, and anyone who just wants to talk sports with us, I'm all about that. So, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. That's what we're going to try and do in the beginning. Let everyone know about our guest on the show. So give them your name. You obviously gave the plugs earlier, but let them know what you do as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I grew up originally up north in Delaware, Newcastle, Newark, Wilmington, Delaware. So damn small, I was moving around. But I grew up north for the most part, moved out to Florida, finished high school here in St. Augustine, class 2011. And then I went to Santa Fe, the state college located in Gainesville. Really just was trying to find my path, find out what the next door I was going to open. And, just through God and through just meeting the right people, man, I got exposed to a telecommunications program at UF. And it was like in that moment, it was this kid from New York, actually. His name is Max. And he was actually a Jets fan, too. So, I feel sorry for him, too. Good. But, so anyway, he just was like, I came out here from New York. I want to transfer from Santa Fe to UF to do sports broadcasting, sports journalism. And when he said that, bro, it was like in that moment, I reshifted everything I was doing. I switched my majors. And so I ended up doing that, graduated UF 2018, class of 2018, been able to have some different doors open with CBS Sports, being able to, do production, be able to walk talent on the field. And really just been working heavy with raw recruits since about 2017. Me and Rome have covered a lot of different sports, football, basketball. Of course, he's the head engineer, but I've definitely been able to run the court with him a couple times, and really just glad to see where that's taken off. But for me, that's just what the journey's been like. I've always had gigs opening up with sports broadcasting events, mainly football, mainly basketball. But I've always been a huge sports lover. We talk about Roger Federer and tennis, talk about Tiger Woods and golf, we're talking about Serena with tennis. I could get into anything as long as I can follow what's going on. I believe there's art in every sport. So yeah, man, just really on a path right now where no limitations, interviewing whoever. If we could build a story, if I can expose your truths to the world, that's what I'm here to do. I'm a connector, man.
That's what's up, man. That's a neat story because I feel like we all have like similar just the way we kind of come up a little bit, just kind of just, you kind of fall in love with a certain thing. You say you're from Delaware. I'm actually from Detroit, and then I moved to New York before I even moved from Florida. I know A-Rod got some New York ties to him as well. Obviously as being a Jets fan and stuff like that. So, it's cool to see kind of just, Florida is like a melting pot of so many just different kind of just people. And you kind of just come across different kind of people. And Jerome's one of those people, just like his energy, you kind of just, he just kind of just rock with kind of quickly. So
yep, now 101, very different individual.
Yeah. For sure.
He is. He's a good dude, man. When I met him in college, he was super younger than me, but he had a lot of energy, always happy, always hype, wanting to hang out, do shit. And I was like, man, that's a different wavelength than me. But I mean, Rome's a good dude, man. Like I always respected Rome. And it's funny because I went away and I went to USF after FGCU. I transferred, and then he pledged a fraternity, and it happens to be the same one KK's in, so they know each other. So it's like our paths crossed again after I left. So it's a story how everybody intertwines again.
That's what's up, man. When it's meant to be, it's definitely gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So real quick, so being from Delaware, so who do you like? So how did you kind of fall in love with the Cowboys? Like who else do you kind of like root for from like a sports standpoint?
So in Delaware, man, everybody's a Philly fan. We like 20 minutes from Philly.
That's what I'm saying. What's up?
Yeah. With me, I fell in love with football for one player, Terrell Owens. You know what I mean? Just everything from the celebrations to the energy on the field. He was just passionate. You know what I mean? That's what had caught me him. And so wherever he was, I think I was like, 7 or 8, he was a San Fran 49er. And then he went to the Eagles. So I was there. And then when he went to the Cowboys, I went there. I still wasn't really all the way locked in with football yet.
Yeah.
So I was just following T.O. Wherever T.O. would go, that's who I would know. So that's who I would. And man, when he went to Dallas and then he went to Buffalo, I was like, yo, I can't really just keep switching.
Yeah.
About to be out the league at some point. Who am I with? So I still rooted for him, but that damn Tony Romo, man, you love him, you hate him. So that's where it came in for me at just being a T.O. fan. But everybody from Delaware is usually Eagles, Phillies, Sixers. You might even get your Knicks fans here, but they stay up north. But man, T.O. where I got involved with the Cowboys.
All right, I'm gonna just kind of piggyback off that story. So, my first sport, my first love was basketball. So that was the thing that got me. And I grew up. I saw the last 3 years of Jordan, where I actually was knowing what was going on. Was the last 3 years of Jordan. So I saw that. I saw a little bit of when the Knicks were decent with Spreewell and those guys and Allen Houston. I saw all of that. But the one person that really, really drew me to basketball was Allen Iverson. So Allen Iverson is my favorite athlete of all time. So it's like that is my apex. That's my guy. So because he played for the Sixers, I fell in love with the 76ers and with the city of Philadelphia itself. And during this time, I'm starting to pick out what kind of football team I want to watch. And the Eagles had a black quarterback. It was McNabb, right? So I was all right. I was between them and the Falcons because they had when they had Michael Vick. So I kind of just bounced back and forth who I just felt more comfortable with. But to piggyback off your story, when T.O. got to Philly, I was like, that's my team. It was when T.O. got to Philly, I was like, yeah, that's my team. Because I remember when he was with the 49ers, I'm like, man, that dude was good. But I felt like everyone was a 49ers fan because they were such a big brand. So I didn't want to be like everybody else. So I was like, all right, well, if he leaves, wherever he goes, and it was like a match made in heaven for me because he came to Philly and I had Iverson, I had T.O. It was perfect. So I could not leave. I could not leave the Eagles when he came to Philly, and I sided with him when he was going through his beef with Donovan McNabb. So I also followed him. So, but I couldn't be a Cowboys fan because it didn't feel right. But I would still cheer for him individually. I couldn't be a Buffalo Bills fan; it didn't feel right. But I still cheer for him individually. But what he did for me at that age, I think I was a 8th grader going to my freshman. I was a freshman when they made it to the Super Bowl with the Eagles against Tom Brady. With a broken leg, 9 catches, 122 yards. I was like, that man is different. So Terrell Owens, my favorite football players are Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, and then Brian Dawkins are my favorite football players.
Oh man, Brian was the heart and soul, bro. Number 20. Yeah, that was when you could still lay him out. Different game. The as it should be more safer, but Brian Dawkins, 1-on-1, man. We'll never be able to see somebody be as aggressive as he was.
Weapon X. He literally had an alter ego. He literally had a locker next to his actual locker. So he had the Brian Dawkins locker, and then next to it he had Weapon X, which is like X-Men. Because he was Wolverine was his favorite X-Men. Go figure. My favorite X-Men was Wolverine. That came from my Michigan ties. I grew up in Michigan, so I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan. So like that connection that I had with Brian Dawkins was a very special connection as well.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. B-Doc, Hall of Famer. He's a real one. Hall of Famer.
But I could not rock with them damn Cowboys because y'all are delusional. y'all. I don't know what's going on with y'all.
It's funny because that's like you're obviously younger than us, but when I think of Cowboys fans, obviously I'm a little bit older. Everybody thinks of the Cowboys of like the Michael Irvin, the Troy Aikman, and the Emmitt Smith era. So it's cool to see player allegiances or your allegiance to an organization because of a player. And that's how mine kind of went for football, because I always was a baseball fan. I love baseball. That's my first sport. But when it came to rooting, my cousin, when he lived in New York, so I was in Florida, and he was like, yo, Curtis Martin is that man. You got to root for Curtis Martin. Like, that's your team. So I was like, what team is he on? He's like, he's on the Jets. So that's where my allegiance started from, with sports. I was adopted into praising Curtis Martin, and then everything was just downhill from there.
Everybody had a Curtis Martin jersey. That was the one jersey I remember. Everyone had a Curtis Martin jersey.
Curtis Martin, Keyshawn Johnson too. Everyone had a Keyshawn Johnson
number 19, right?
Yeah. Keyshawn was great. Ran him out. And then my favorite player that I got ties to always will be Darrell Revis. That's my dude. I'm a defensive player. So
did y'all see that? Did you see that post today? Somebody was like, who's better? Your boy from the Cowboys, Diggs, or Darrell Revis? I saw that as an actual post today on social media. I took huge offense to that. I don't know what you think about that, Jamaal, but I took huge offense to that.
Nah, man, they disrespectful, man. And Diggs is my man, but come on. We talking about Revis. Revis not top 4 ever cornerbacks. You got Prime. You might argue Richard in front of him or whoever else, but nah, man. Revis, Diggs is more of a playmaker. He'll make the turn. He's not locking nobody down. I mean, it's receivers all year that got separation with ease. Where Darrell, he had a strong what was that? 8 through 11. He was tough, man.
Now, speaking of cornerbacks, we're gonna see a cornerback in the Super Bowl. We can kind of hop over to the Super Bowl. What's his name? Ramsey. As of right now, where do we put Ramsey like in the pantheon as far as like cornerbacks of all time? Like where do y'all think he should be? Like, right? Because to me right now, I would still say he's the best in the game, but I mean it's tough. Like, what do y'all think? Like all the time with him.
I mean, I would say he's the best in the game, yeah, but I mean, it's too early to call it for me. I mean, once you get a ring, that's solidifying you to, you know, for talk. Then I think in my
As a
books.
corner, does it matter as a corner?
As a
Get ring?
corner, I mean, I think if you're, I mean, and any player, once any player gets a ring, that's solid talk. That or defensive player of the year, or I mean, let's be honest, Pro Bowl is just whatever. Pro Bowl is just like a star on your fucking report card. Like, hey, congratulations. So, but All Pro is good. Yeah, All Pro is great, and I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I just don't like that he lips his lips when he talks to people all the time. That kind of freaks me out. But other than that, like he's got to be up there, man.
I'm trying to see how many All Pros he has. What do you think,
Gotta have
Jamaal?
like 2 or 3.
As far as all-time greats, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both. You don't need that Super Bowl ring to really solidify your presence, right? How dominant you was, but obviously a ring only boosts you, right? So Richard got his, Darrell got his. It's only right Jalen gets his, I think, to be solidified in that conversation. But
Yeah, got a couple.
but he's essentially done the same things they've done without the ring. I mean, if we really want to go tick for tat, one can make the argument he is a little bit more dominant than Richard. Richard wasn't always following the number one receiver. He had games he would shadow certain receivers, but that didn't even come before they won their Super Bowl. That was like after when he became that real deal weapon. So I think with Jalen, you go back to Jacksonville and his the last couple years with the Rams, All Pro, and just he shadows receivers.
Yeah, he's 3-time All Pro.
But this is for
me.
me. Last year in the playoffs against the Packers, Devontae Adams scored on him.
Yeah,
and, you know,
but you saw that. You remember the play? How it was a good play because he came across the field and they made that quick comeback and nobody helped Jalen. Like Jalen wasn't put in a bad place. He needed some help on that one. So that was just good play calling from the offense. I can't get mad at Jalen for that one. I can't.
You can't, but from the general eye of most people, right? It's like he got scored on. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is that's cool that happened. And like you say, he didn't have the help, but this is the bigger point. If during the bowl that happens, now, and especially if they don't get the ring, you to me have took a slight step back in regards to Richard and Darrell.
Yeah. Let's
You think he's gonna follow follow Chase around?
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah,
if they want
I don't know. I think they should press him on T. Higgins because if they don't have Uzoma, T. Higgins is gonna be a weapon because if you double Jamar Chase with just 2 other corners, have him pressed on T. Higgins. Where is Burrow throwing the ball? Like who can he throw the ball to? That's how I saw it.
That's a good point.
From a standpoint of let me show that I'm the man and I can take him one-on-one, then maybe, but I don't know how Raheem Morris what he's gonna be thinking. But if I'm Jalen Ramsey, I'm like, yo, I'm the man. I'll take Jamar all game. I'll follow him all game.
I mean, let's not forget what Tyler Boyd did last year too, man. Like they completely phased AJ Green out of it, and Boyd we thought was gonna be the one, and he easily took a back seat this year and said, I'll be a 2, and efficiently scored his touchdowns when he did and had his big games when he needed. But we drafted Boyd, or we got Boyd as like a pick in our fantasy draft, thinking he was going to be a 1, and he was just serviceable all year. So, I mean, yeah, Higgins is a deep threat, but Boyd is a good number 2 to have.
The thing about Higgins is that he's a big body. So, like, especially if Uzoma, because I don't know what the injury. I saw he took off his cast on Monday or Tuesday or something like that. So maybe Uzoma might be able to play. I think if Uzoma is able to play, I'll keep Jalen Ramsey on Chase the whole game and then see how the cards kind of play out and just try to pressure Burrow all game. That's how I would do it. But it really just depends on the injury situation.
Back to your point about the cornerback, though, like, and I said the Super Bowl thing, what have we always preached about teams that all they needed was something to win a Super Bowl? Always have been a cornerback. The Packers needed Charles Woodson. They went and got him, won the Super Bowl. The Patriots said $13 million a year to Revis, got their ring, and let him go back to the Jets. And what did the Rams need? They needed a better secondary. So they went and got Jalen Ramsey. So he's following in that path. So I think this could be a good like stepping stone for him to have the argument of where is he at such a young like time in his career already. he's already solidifying himself as a very good DB. So
he only came in the league in 2016. That's wild. I feel like he's been around for a while, but it's only been a few years. Like he's in his 6th season. Like that's it. He got a good solid, almost a decade left if he wants to.
But when you play in Jacksonville, it's just like, I mean, yeah, they had that little run where they went to the AFC Championship, but
they should have won that game.
They should have, but they didn't.
Won that game.
The man was licking his lips too much when he was interviewing. So, but I mean, it is what it is. Jacksonville will like ruin your career, to be honest with you. So getting out of there is the best thing you can do because they can't put a solid product on the field ever.
They can't even get the coach right. I mean, I love Dougie P. Don't get me wrong. He got me a Super Bowl, but I mean, Byron Leftwich. I mean, damn, somebody who's been in the system, played quarterback for your team. You got a young quarterback that needs help. To me, go get Byron Leftwich. But all Byron Leftwich wanted was to change the GM. But Shad Khan, whatever's not having that. So I don't know. You closer to UF and Gainesville, so I don't know if there's if you hear more stuff up there in the northern Florida area, Jamaal. But I mean, have you heard anything about what people are saying about the Jags up there?
I mean, everybody's really just hyped to see, what Trevor does his second year, and it hasn't really been too much negative criticism, but not really a lot of hype around Doug Peterson. I think, if I'm just being honest, I think a lot of Jags fans probably don't even remember he was an Eagles coach that he won. You know what I mean? Would count on them to not know that he even probably was a head coach before. But nevertheless, so I haven't really heard a lot of hype about him. But from a football fan myself, I think either way it was a great move. If they would have went with Byron, him being a former quarterback for them, him just working with Tom Brady, I mean, it felt like that would have been a perfect match for a young quarterback. But the cons in comparison with Doug has been the head coach. Doug has won a championship with Philly. So goddamn, if he could do it with Philly, he got to be able to take Jacksonville there.
What you trying to say?
I mean, that's a tall task, brother. No man has ever.
Right. Can you remind me? Can you remind me when the Cowboys won a Super Bowl last? I'm just curious.
Hey, that's not terrible.
I'm just curious. It's been a while.
We was in the mix.
Since the last time y'all won a Super Bowl, we've at least been to 2. We played Tom Brady twice. In the whole think about it. In the whole Tom Brady legacy GOAT career that he had, we saw that man twice. Y'all couldn't even see him once.
That's real. Hey,
come on, man.
That's not a fact. But what I'm telling you is, y'all got one, and it took that long. I think it might be a minute before you get another. We'll see who gets. But either way, though, I think Doug is a huge addition for them. And mark my words, they win 9 games next year, and they start going in a better direction. But they don't just do that because the coaching, man, they got to get some more talent over there. Who is he throwing, bro? Who is he throwing to?
I love Trevor in college, so this is actually the name of this podcast is the Fairweather Podcast. So Jacksonville fans are very Fairweather fans. Like you just said, they don't even know who the coach is probably. So
right.
I'm going to be one of the people who actually cheer for that team because I do love Trevor Lawrence. I wasn't happy that we got rid of Dougie P because I feel like we got rid of him because of Carson Wentz, who we didn't even want anyway. So that's a whole nother story. But Trevor, I want Trevor to be successful. I think Urban Meyer ruined that organization, and they're so fortunate that they were able to get from under that ASAP. Because if you ruin a quarterback that young, damn. But the fact that they were able to go in that last game and stop the Colts from making the playoffs, I was all right. They're gonna be fine. Trevor is that kind of a leader. If you can stop.
What was it? Since 2013, the Colts have not beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
7 years in a row. Can't beat them. Can't beat them in Jacksonville. And Trevor Lawrence, I heard there was a report that said Trevor Lawrence right before that game, it was the first time they ever heard him really speak up. And Trevor was like, "We are not going to lose this game." Trevor, I was like, "Okay, sunshine, go ahead, boy." So I'm hoping that he does well. But yeah, they got to get some weapons. They're gonna get Etienne back, which is gonna be cool for them. So They need some receivers on the outside. They need some tight ends not named Tim Tebow. They gonna need a little bit of this and that, but I think they'll be fine. But we'll see.
Yeah, 9 wins, man. I see them going.
Nah, you pushing it. You pushing it.
Hey, listen, bro. Doug got a ring. He could do anything.
Doug got us a ring because we had a great offensive coordinator, great defensive coordinator, and Nick Foles was born in a manger somewhere.
Let's not dwell on the past, okay? The Eagles ain't in the Super Bowl, all right? So let's stick to the Super Bowl talk. So we're
talking quarterbacks. Let's talk about the quarterbacks.
We can talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about head coaches too, because this is the two youngest head coaches we have ever facing each other in the Super Bowl. So this is interesting. And one thing we've been preaching all the time is like, what's the formula to success now in the NFL? Young head coach,
good quarterback.
They gel, and then you develop with it. And this is just leading to the point that we've been making for a very long time now, and the mold that everybody's trying to employ now. So, I mean, it's something very exciting to see. Once again, we get to see a Super Bowl in the hometown of one of the teams that's in it. So, hey, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. It's gonna be a good halftime show, man. At least I gotta see the country music shit out there, man. I want to see that shit.
Just with that being said, I'm gonna just say, if I'm the Rams, and we're gonna make our predictions shortly, right? But if I'm the Rams, ain't no way I'm letting this young ass Bengals team come into my damn stadium with the whole West Coast performing, Eminem showing up, Mary J. Blige showing up, LeBron probably gonna be at the game. You're gonna see all these celebrities. Denzel Washington is gonna be there. YG is gonna be. You're gonna see all these celebrities that's gonna be there. There's no way I'm letting this team from the Midwest come to my crib and beat me. You know how like that. You know how I find it hard. It just we're not doing predictions yet, but I'm just thinking like, bruh, you just said it. Dr. Dre's performing. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar is performing.
Look out for Detox.
Yeah, but to me, it's just like one of these things where it's like, and like they're like the grown folks. They got Matthew Stafford, grown folk. Even between if you look at it, McVay, I mean, he got experience. This is his second Super Bowl. He's a grown folk. Aaron Donald, grown. Jalen Ramsey, technically, he's grown now because Jamar Chase.
Don't forget my boy Von.
Von Miller, grown man, Super Bowl MVP. OBJ, who you finally give us some respect to. He kind of a grown man too. Like you're not gonna let these kids. You can't let these kids come to your stadium when the West Coast is performing. All the celebrities gonna be there. All their girlfriends gonna be there. You can't let these young bucks just come to your house and just beat you. So that's just where I'm at right now, mentally. Where I'm at mentally. But continue.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I got to see what Joe Cool wearing into the game. Whatever Joe Cool wears to the game is what I dictate, man. As soon as I saw that man walking to Arrowhead, I was like, yo, change the bets right now, man. That dude came in too much swag. So
he's
I'm for that.
Yeah, he's the truth. This is nothing fluke about it. Joe is the real deal.
But you think, all right, so if you had to compare questions for you, Jamaal, if you had to compare like who obviously Joe doesn't. I don't know how much pressure Joe does have, but he's stressed. He's probably, he's a kid. And Matthew Stafford, he's been around for a while. So who do you think has a little bit more pressure on them going into this game?
Oh, without a question, it's Matthew. Without a question. 86, 95, and 1 over his career with, Joe being, I believe, 12, 13, and 1 regular season numbers. So for them to both have losing records, it's one thing for Joe to be in his second year, first full year as a starter. And Matt, it's kind of not fair, the pressure's on him, but in reality, you've been a vet over 10 plus years in the league. We've been seeing you since 2009, and it was the franchise. It was the teams around you. They just wasn't enough to ever really get you in that Super Bowl, that even NFC championship game. I don't even know if they ever even made it past.
They never won a playoff game.
Never win a playoff game, right? So they lost wild card round. I think to the Cowboys and Saints, and maybe one more team. But the point is, he's here, and you got to deliver. Like, let's not act like he had the greatest game against the Niners. He held them down, but they won as a collective team. So they can also win this game as a collective team if the defense comes out and does what they need to do to just contain them, maybe 23-24. If you Matthew Stafford and that defense holds Joe to 23-24, you have no excuse to not put up 25. You got to be able to put up at least 25 points with the type of position you in. Like your first year with this team, home stadium, you get a chance to win the bowl. Like you got to step up and you got to attack that. And it's really going to be interesting for me if it comes down to a one-score situation, right? And it's the ball in his hands. You know, that's the same thing we were saying about Jalen. His performance Sunday is going to do huge things when it comes to how we view Matthew Stafford. Because ask Aaron Rodgers, ask Drew Brees, ask Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Not easy to get the second ring. So you gotta cash in while you got a chance now. So more pressure goes to Matt, without a question. Without a question. I mean, Joe is Joe Cool, man. He got at least 12 years. We hope at an elite level. With Matt, how long left we got?
I mean, he's getting 13, yes.
I agree there 100%. And he scares me in the red zone because he's like super shaky in the red zone. I feel like his receivers bail him out because he has two good receivers that can get separation. Like we've seen Cooper Kupp do it all playoffs, just get mass separation in the game and just bolt to the end zone every time. We've seen him drop passes that he was looking at the end zone ready to go to, just ready to take off. So I feel that Matthew Stafford is, because they did that. We talked about it last year. They did the steadiest heartbeat in a huddle. I feel like Joe Burrow has no heartbeat, man. I feel like he's just synced into the game. And when we're all like, yeah, we know Patrick Mahomes, he's a bad man. He's going to do what he does. He's definitely going to win this game effortlessly. He cools off somehow. And Joe Cool just goes in there and efficiently wins the game.
Yeah.
And even if Burrow loses, I think like he's set up for success. I think Cincinnati once again has become it's become fun again. And with Chad Ochocinco back in, or Chad Johnson back in the picture, you know, doing his thing with the podcast and talking all this about how great Cincinnati is, like it's going to be a place players are going to want to go play. And Joe Burrow is definitely a guy, even if they get all LSU players, like it'll be little LSU just in Cincinnati, basically. So my only thing,
because I for the most part, I agree with y'all. I do. You know, it's year 13. You know, Tom Brady came to Tampa Bay last year. In his first year, he delivered a ring at home, right? So now you're being held to that standard. That's just how it is. You're a veteran. You came to a team to be the savior. They were all they said were quarterback away. So I get the pressure. Okay, you're at home. I get the pressure. But if I want to flip it, I mean, Joe Burrow got hella pressure on him because everyone like over the last week and a half, all I keep hearing is the next Brady. He's here to be the savior for Cincinnati. You know, he's so cool. You know, it's gonna be so easy. He ain't scared of them. You know, he's gonna be the best. He's gonna be better than Mahomes already. Like, ever since he beat Mahomes, all I keep hearing is nothing but he's gonna do this, that, and the third, right? And I don't know how much he pays attention to the media. I don't know how much he reads. I don't know how much he's on social media. I don't know any of that stuff. But what I do know is that, you know, when you 24, 25 years old, you start hearing, you're like, okay, I gotta deliver. Like because what do we all talk about when we talk about Cincinnati, right? It's this team that can't get right. You know, no one. If you go back to the summer, I want to know who picked Cincinnati to even win their own division. So we don't even know, we don't know, first of all, when Cincinnati's going to win the division again, because we're just under the assumption that they won it because they were the best team. I can argue that Baltimore was hurt. I can argue that, right? So, to me, Baltimore could have won the division easily. So, to me, he got the whole city of Cincinnati on his back that he has to carry. The Midwest, actually, because the thing about the Midwest, being someone from the Midwest, whenever somebody from the Midwest makes it, we all rocking with him. We all hoping that he can just make us look good, right? And Cincinnati has such a bad track record. When they went to 2 Super Bowls, lost them both. One of them they got embarrassed, and one of them I think it was like a fourth quarter kind of decision. And then since 1991, it was just terrible. Mix in Chad Johnson and Carson Palmer for a second. mix in Andy Dalton and AJ Green for a second, but it's all been bad luck and terrible. So to me, although I do agree with you, I do think that it's not that far apart, the amount of pressure that Joe Burrow has, because it's not like he plays for, this big time franchise where, we'll be back next year. Like, it's the Bengals. At the end of the day, as great as he is, like, think about Detroit. I lived in Detroit. I'm not even a Lions fan. There's a reason for that. Because I grew up knowing, like, we had Barry Sanders. I'm like, man, we so good. We have Barry Sanders. We can't do nothing for this man. So if Barry Sanders couldn't do nothing and Calvin Johnson couldn't do anything, it was like, well, who can? Matthew Stafford had to leave. And in his first year, he's already in the Super Bowl. So Cincinnati is kind of that same kind of feel for me. It's like, if it ain't this year, it's like, when are we going to be back? That's just how I feel when I think about Cincinnati. So
that's true.
It's tough. It's tough. But we'll see.
Let's not forget Terrell Owens did play for Cincinnati.
He did.
Too, so.
He did. That's my boy. Hey, when T.O. and Chad played together, bro, you can't tell me nothing. My two favorite players were playing together. I was like, oh my god.
Man, I used to love playing NFL Street too. It was three. The three, both of them on the same team.
Yeah. That was a good time. And mind you, Terrell Owens was old as hell at that point. He was still putting up numbers.
Almost 1,000 yards that year. Got injured.
Yeah, it was like 976 or something. I remember.
They couldn't do it. Their team around them, O-line, defense, it was all below average.
So you just bring me to my next point. Hey, I'm gonna take it right here. We talk about O-line, right? Cincinnati's O-line is pretty bad. And if Chris Jones would have just wrapped them up a couple times in that backfield last week, then we have a completely different story. The week before that, it was 9 sacks. Somehow they prevailed, but that's because they're playing against Ryan Tannehill. So now they got to deal with these boys like Von Miller, Aaron Donald. God, what's his name? Number was it 91? God, his name escaped my mind. Floyd. Like, they got some dogs. They got dogs coming at Joe Burrow this game. So, do you think the O-line is going to be able? We're talking about pressure for Joe Burrow. That's going to be the most pressure. Is that Aaron Donald's going to be in the space all game? So, what do you think they need to do to kind of overcome that?
To be real, they can't overcome that. That's the point. Having struggles against the Titans and Chiefs D-line. I mean, what you just named all of that pressure coming at them. So with McDonald, I mean, even if you had an all-pro line, you can't game plan for him. You always need 2 people on him. So their best bet is to always have 2 people on him, maybe run some screens away from him and Floyd's side. But pick your poison, man. You try to stay away from them boys, and you got Von Miller coming with the pass rush. And then, with them, McDonald, Von, Dave, even Ramsey, they have playoff experience. I just wonder if just the defense overall is going to be a little bit too much for Joe. But with that offensive line, they improved. You could look at that second half against Kansas City. They definitely, as a unit, worked together real well. Definitely didn't look as vulnerable as they did against the Titans in the second half. But that's the point. Are we going to get the O-line that we got against the Titans? Because if that's the case, the boys might not even put up 19 points. I mean, it really might be a stressful day for Joe Burrow back there. But if we can, with 2 weeks rest, the right game plan, I think for me, it's always going to be the second half adjustments. I expect the line to really have favorable matchups early on. I mean, seriously, I would not be surprised. Don't be surprised if the Bengals don't score any touchdowns whatsoever through those first 2 quarters. Like, I really think they're going to have to adjust and see the second half reads they're going to have to make. But you can't game plan against all that firepower, man. So you just got to take it for what it is. And what's going to be their best bet is really just having some hot routes, having some slants, good play action mix. But you can't stand back there when your weakest unit of your team is the O-line. Their arguably greatest strength of their team is the D-line. So not a lot of shotguns if you're the Bengals this Sunday.
Hey, Rod.
Yeah, I see Joe Mixon being heavily involved this time in the game. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think he can do it all. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can find the holes. He's a oh shit, I got to dump it off to Joe. Joe's on the side. He can catch and run. So he's going to be everyone's looking for Jamar Chase in this game, but let's just be honest with ourselves. I mean, we want that, but if you're the Bengals, you got to look at this like if he's open, he's going to get his share. But let's be honest, Ramsey's going to do what Ramsey does, and Joe's been kind of, vanilla yogurt the entire time, as I like to say it. So Joe's going to get a lot of looks this game if I had to pick a guy who's going to be heavily involved in the offense. But yeah, that O-line is the most sus line, and I don't know how they got there because, like, we saw the Titans game. We were like, this is a joke. This is a joke, and they still win the game. And then, like you said, like I keep saying, like, if Chris Jones gets paid all this money to wrap up dudes, and he couldn't wrap up one dude in one play, and that one play definitely cost him the game. So if Chris Jones and when they could have tackled him back there, it's a different ball game. But even at that, if we were talking about the Chiefs, their O-line is better, but what's their defense going to do? So, but let's not even talk about the Chiefs, but it's going to be an interesting game. And I wouldn't be, if it was like a bloodbath, I wouldn't even, if the Rams just came out and wreaked havoc on everybody, I could be expecting that, to be honest.
So yeah, for me, though, I said the only way that the Bengals win this game, not Jamar Chase, not Joe Burrow, not none of these people, it's going to be Joe Mixon. Because of that, like you just said, their weakest link is the Rams' best strength. And you need to offset that by y'all need to run the ball, y'all need to do some quick passes, y'all need screen game needs to be crazy. Like that's what they need to do. Zach Taylor, I don't know. I don't like this. I mean, the cool thing about it is Zach Taylor, he was on that coaching staff with the Rams that made it to the Super Bowl a couple years back. So it's not like he doesn't have any big time experience, but he was just on the staff. He wasn't McVay. So I don't know what his cockiness level is like. I don't know, where his mind is at with how he wants to do his game plan. But to me, if I'm them, the only thing I'm doing is, look, Joe Mixon, we need you to get like at least 25 touches today. Whether it's like, how like we had playoff Lenny last year, right? They need to have a playoff Joe Mixon for this game for them to even have a chance. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this one. But
big facts.
Yeah, I mean Donald, 3-time defensive player of the year. He's already lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady. I just don't see him letting somebody come to his house and just letting that happen. So I don't know. It's just, that D-line. And Von Miller has been there, done that. I mean, Von Miller went after Cam Newton and destroyed him for a whole 4 quarters. So I don't know, man. It's just a little shaky. I'm a little shaky with this one.
You want to do predictions?
Let's get it, man. Let's just, what we got? We're going to let the guests go first.
If I was a betting man in Vegas, take Rams 32, Bengals 25. But with my heart and with my hopes are the Bengals get a dramatic fourth quarter drive. They down 22-26, and Joe, he can't get a field goal. He's got to get in the end zone to get that ring. So I'm taking Bengals 29-26.
Damn, the young
field goal games.
The young buck. A-Rod, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Man, truth be told, like I want Joe to get it, but I know Joe's got a lot of playoff or a lot of football left in him. I'm just a huge Von Miller fan, and I'm a big Aaron Donald fan, so I just want Aaron Donald to get his. And I'm like a big Sean McVay fan. Like he's literally like a year older than me. So like I look at myself like, what am I doing with my life? He's a head coach, man. So I just like when people give a chance to someone who's young but well-minded of what they're doing, and they took a gamble and it's paid off. This is their second Super Bowl, and homeboy Goff wasn't the answer. Stop saying you'd fuck my wife, and they get rid of him and send his ass to fucking Detroit, which is great. So if Joe wins, I'm not mad at it because I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going Rams, and I'm gonna say 28-19.
28-19. Damn. Okay.
All right, man. Here we go.
That O-line is just too sus for me, man. And I don't think Aaron Donald doesn't miss tackles, and neither does Von Miller, and Floyd don't either. So,
all right, here's where I'm at. I've got till like we have reached a point in which I'm on the fence of which way I want to go, right? And I told myself yesterday, I'm like, right, we're gonna do this show today. I'm gonna have a decision by the time I wake up in the morning, right? And I'm just looking at parallels. I'm looking at all these different things, right? There's two different parallels I'm looking at right now. Parallel number one, people compare Joe Burrow a little bit to Tom Brady already. Like that's just, I've been hearing that all of a sudden. That's like the comparison, right? Tom Brady's first Super Bowl came in his second year against the St. Louis Rams, when no one expected that to happen, right? And it's Joe Burrow's second year. It happens to be against the Rams, who to me is the better football team on paper. So conventional wisdom was like, Brett, yeah, you got to pick Joe. You got to pick Joe because if he's going to be the next Tom Brady, he's going to have to start now, right? Then I look at the Rams, the other parallel. They got the old quarterback from another team that didn't either want him anymore or didn't feel like they could utilize his skill set anymore and wanted to go a different direction. Tom Brady goes to Tampa. They acquire all these pieces, like they acquired Antonio Brown last year. They acquired OBJ this year. Last year, they go get, all these big-time defensive linemen and all this stuff. They go get Von Miller. Then they brought Gronk out of retirement last year. They brought Eric Waddle out of retirement this year. And then the game was a home game. And the parallels are crazy. And what I've always preached since the beginning of the season, every year, being somebody who played, when I played football in high school, I played on the offensive and defensive line. So line play to me is the most important thing. And the glaring weakness for one of these teams, no matter how great Joe Burrow is, no matter how great all of that is, their offensive line is horrible. The reason why I think the Bengals are going to do good this year is because their offensive line is horrible. That speaks to how great Joe Burrow is. But I can't, and I don't mind being wrong on this one. Like, this is one I don't mind being wrong. I thought I was going to pick the Bengals when I woke up this morning, but I really, really sat back, and I just can't see how they're going to stop Aaron Donald, how they're going to stop Floyd, how they're going to stop Von Miller. I don't see how they're going to stop who's going to keep up with the best player in this game is Cooper Kupp. Nobody talks about him. He just won the Triple Crown, and no one talks about him.
That's why.
Because if that's what it is, then whatever. That's the world's fault. The man is either the first or second best receiver in the league now, statistically. It's him or Devontae Adams. That's where it's at. Me, I like Hopkins more, but that's a different story. But Cooper Kupp can't be stopped. That's one. That's one guy.
Separation.
That's one guy. You got to deal with OBJ now, who's like, bro, this is everything to him right now because everything he went through in Cleveland, he's being humble and everything. I just can't see. And I would not mind being wrong, but I just can't see Cincinnati coming into their house and beating them.
All I gotta say too is I gotta see what Joe Burrow's wearing that day and how he walks in.
Cool, fantastic. But
see that
OBJ is gonna be wearing something more flashy with his watch, $2 million watch, and Cooper Kupp's gonna be coming professional as hell. Cooper Kupp gonna give him 12 catches, 146 yards, and 2 tugs. Who's gonna stop him, right? So I'm picking the Rams. And one thing I've noticed about Super Bowls, for the most part, they're blowouts. If you go back and really pay attention, there's been a few classic games, but a lot of them are just not that close or not that interesting. Tom Brady's given us a lot of interesting games over the years, but a lot like the Broncos and Seahawks one year, a lot of them are not as close as they could be. And being that it's the Bengals, I'm gonna go 33-18 Rams.
32-19, 33-18.
33-18, give me the Rams. And again, if I'm wrong, I would not be angry because I love Joe Burrow. but I gotta go with. That's me.
too.
I'm gonna give him 20. Give him 20. Give me 33-20. Rams.
Let's also not forget Deshaun Jackson forced his way out of the Rams beginning of the season. So
it can't get right.
But you know what? If he doesn't leave, who knows if they get OBJ? They might have just been at that, crowd. I mean, yeah, they still have Robert. Robert Woods injured, but I think they hesitate to grab him.
Things happen for a reason. Who knows how the chemistry in the locker room will be because he's not getting the ball enough anymore. Who knows how that'll throw off? Yeah. How many more picks Stafford will throw, forcing him the ball?
Right.
So
right.
honestly, he forced himself out. God bless him. Good. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work out for you anymore here. So he's getting up there in age. He probably would never win a ring, which sucks. But that's my guy. I love Deshaun Jackson. That's that's my boy, obviously. But I'm picking Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, like Von Miller, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, OBJ. The star power in LA with Dr. Dre in the backdrop, Eminem in the backdrop, Mary J. Blige. Bro, they got Mary J. Blige to show up to the halftime show. And you don't think the Rams go? I gotta pick the Rams. I'm sorry. Mary J?
Nah, I mean,
that's a queen. Come on.
I told you what money said. The money says Rams, but the heart wants to.
The heart. So, but I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one. That's where I'm leading right now.
Before I get out of here, fellas, I gotta handle some things. Definitely appreciate you guys having me on tonight. Don't want this to be the last time whatsoever. I do want to just mention this though. What do you think about this? Bengals first game against the Raiders, they held them to 10 points in the second half. Bengals game against the Titans, they held them to 6 in the second half, including that interception that ultimately put them in a position to win. Now, last game, they held the Chiefs, second half and overtime.
Yeah.
0 points, and they had that interception. Yeah, we not seeing nothing consistent here with the Bengals defense, or are we silent on that?
What I would say about the Bengals defense, that's a great point that you bring up. They do their halftime adjustment, their ability to adjust at halftime, is probably right now the best I've seen all season. Yes. Because there's been so many games this year, even the games that they lost, where they've made a big comeback to even make it a game. Packers game was one of them that I remember vividly. Like the Packers were up on them early, and they made it again. I think it went to overtime, if I'm not mistaken, with that one. So I 1,000% agree with that aspect of it. I have to believe that Sean McVay is aware of this. I could be very naive, right? But the guy who's already been to a Super Bowl, who lost because he didn't make halftime adjustments himself, and a guy who let Tom Brady come back 27-3 on him because he didn't make halftime adjustments himself, I have to assume, and again, I could be very naive, but I have to assume that McVay is like, look, we can't let our foot off the pedal kind of thing, right? And another caveat to that is that the Chiefs, they lost that game because they refused to run the football. The Titans, although the Titans didn't refuse to run the football, but they passed at the worst time, and it was Ryan Tannehill. And in the Raiders, I remember watching that game. I was at Indian Rocks Beach, drinking some mimosas. I was feeling great. And I remember watching that game. I said, the Raiders, this is the worst football game I've ever seen a team play in my entire life, was the Raiders play that game. They played so horribly. The fact that it was even close at the end was impressive to me. But to me, the Raiders played horribly because they're not that good. God got them into the playoffs somehow. The Titans, I don't know. Ryan Tannehill, that's his problem, right? And then also they were leaning so heavily trying to get Derrick Henry to be great. Meanwhile, what's his name was getting more yards per carry. The other one with the dreads, he was getting more yards per carry. So in my opinion, they just botched that situation. And then to the Chiefs game, look, as much as I love Andy Reid, I've been watching. Andy Reid's been my coach for a long time. I know how Andy Reid is. He tries to get too cute. And it was one of those situations in which Andy Reid tried to get too cute. And it refused. I mean, they gave him like the middle of the field wide open to run the football. And they wanted to drop back every play and let Patrick Mahomes look for somebody who, and they had a spy. They had I think it was a Hendricks or Hubbard playing a spy. So they got a spy in the middle of the field, so Patrick Mahomes can't scramble, and they got like 8 DBs back in coverage, so everybody is covered. So that to me, as great as that defense may have seemed, offensive coordinator and head coach could have easily ran the football. And when you have no knees, what's his name?
Don't diss my boy, Sonny Michel.
Sonny Michel, no knees. You got no Achilles, but what's Cam Akers? When you got those two, bro, in the third and the fourth quarter, get your 5 yards to carry because they're gonna let you run the ball. They're not gonna let you pass it anymore. They might get bombed in the first half. In the second half, if you be stubborn and try to force somebody to win Super Bowl MVP because they want to probably make a point. Oh, Stafford had 400 yards passing. Don't be cute. Don't be dumb. I think the Bengals have a decent defense, an opportunistic defense, but I don't think they're an elite, great defense kind of thing. I just think that was just bad head coaching on for the other teams and then bad quarterback play with Tannehill personally.
All right, heard that. Well, I got your scores. Y'all got your scores, man. 28-19. Then you took them 33-20. I'm rocking with Bengals 29-26. So let's see who comes out victorious next week.
Yeah, man. Pleasure for sure having you on.
Yeah, man. No, definitely, man. Yo, this was a vibe. And man, listen, y'all got to keep supporting what they doing right now. This podcast is definitely something you want to keep watching and just hear what these boys is talking about. I like how y'all got the balance of stats, but you make it still just down to earth. It feels like I'm talking to y'all in my living room. So, man, y'all keep pushing this button, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, listen, man, Godspeed. I will definitely see y'all again. Much love. And y'all enjoy the game, man. This is my 4th favorite holiday. I love Christmas, Thanksgiving, my birthday, and the Super Bowl. So I'm ready, man.
It's up there. It's definitely, hey, by the way, Valentine's Day is the next day, y'all. Please don't get caught slipping. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is the next day. Just please don't forget.
It's gonna be a lot in the atmosphere Sunday night.
Please don't forget.
Y'all be safe, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Hey, a pleasure, man.
All right, welcome back. We got some basketball to get to. A lot of shit going on.
Yeah, trade deadline's approaching, man. So there's a lot of big names that are being circled, trade packages that are being thrown out there.
And people blowing up my phone about James Harden and Damien Lillard and all John Wall. My phone is being blown up as we speak, y'all.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's just run down the name of some big names that we have here in the trade deadline. So Russell Westbrook is obviously the first one. He's definitely not fitting the mold in LA.
What? Don't even go into it. What is wrong? Just from your point of view, what is wrong?
What is wrong is, in my opinion, Russ plays a selfish style of basketball. He's a stat sheet filler. He's going to get his rebounds over people who should be getting rebounds and boxing out. It's good that he can find the open man on a lot of things, but he has no mid-range. He can't shoot. His only weapon really is to attack the basket with force. That's his only MO every time he's on the court. And LeBron James is the kind of guy who brings the best out of everything from you, and he can't pull those type of things out of Russ so much that he has to be benched in the fourth quarter, and they got to lose, games because he's there in the fourth quarter on the bench. What the problem is, and I'm a huge Russ fan, and I hate having to do this to him because he's on the Lakers and it's with LeBron. Russ needs to be the focal point. Russ, we're seeing it. Russ is the focal point of your team, and then you have good, efficient role players around him that do their roles. You have the guy to kick out for threes. You've got the guy down low to box out and put back shots that Russ misses. You've got the guys that are open for mid-range around. You've got those players around him. But Russ can't be the guy that you rely on to be like a CP3. Like, he can pick up the slack when Booker's not hot. Like, that's just not him. He can't do it. And it's not meshing well. And everybody looks sluggish. Everybody looks like we're done. Let's just hang it up. But if there's anything I know about LeBron James, he's not a quitter. Like, he's definitely not a quitter. The whole team can quit, but LeBron ain't gonna quit, and he'll tell the reporters what they want to hear. But like Russ,
You heard what he said last night.
Yeah, what do you want me to say? Like, that's what you
What
want?
is that what y'all want to hear?
Yeah, like you know he's not a quitter, even though like they're back up or up against the wall in the West, and all these expectations of them to be doing good, and they have an all-star roster with only one all-star on the team, and a bunch of has-beens, really, a bunch of old men. It's just unfortunate. Like, Russ just doesn't fit the mold or the culture there. Like, yeah, he's fun, and he's like, you don't even see him having fun on the court. You don't see him doing his dances. You don't see him like jawing it up. He's just out there like a robot. And I'll give Russ this. He's been very professional about it. Like, when the media gets on him, he's like, that's not my decision.
Professional.
It could be worse.
I'm a Russ fan. Professional is not the word I would use. Petty. He's been very petty, actually. And take it from somebody who's petty and very passive aggressive. Like, I am very petty and very passive aggressive. My email showing.
We're changing our show name to the Petty Podcast.
The Petty Wop podcast. Now, I'm hella petty. My tweets are petty. My emails are petty. My group chats are petty. I'm just petty all around. So I understand petty when I see it, and I know passive aggressive when I see it as well. So I don't think he's being. I would say he's being professional because he has no choice, because he knows the moment he knows that they're waiting for him to implode, so they have cause to trade him, right? I think what's wrong is that, obviously, we talk, people talk about over the summer. I thought people were just being haters, but as my LeBron fan lenses were on, obviously I knew the fit wasn't ideal. The thing about LeBron is he needs people who have the ability to stretch the floor, because LeBron is the offense. Like, you go, you play the original Lakers, they were in a triangle, and some people got motion offense, and some people got the ice, like they all got the pick and roll, this, that, and the third. When you have King James on your team, LeBron James is the offense. However, when you have Russell Westbrook on your team, Russell Westbrook is the offense. That does not work. Like, that first year in Miami with LeBron and D Wade, it was awkward, very awkward. The difference between this team and that team is that LeBron and D Wade were 25 and 26 years old, and their supporting cast was fantastic. And they didn't really deal with the injuries like they're dealing with right now.
And they also like corrected the ship. In the beginning, it was kind of like, what the fuck? But like, they corrected the ship, and it was beautiful. LeBron can go from scoring 32 a game to comfortably 26, 27 and still being dominant.
Top 15 coach in the NBA 75, Eric Spoelstra, who probably gets disrespected more than he should. Eric Spoelstra was a mastermind with that team. Like, for real, when you go back and look, he was a mastermind. And I said it when they hired him, and I still believe it now. Even if they won a championship, I never believed in Frank Vogel. And when they got rid of Jason Kidd over the summer, they didn't get rid of him. The Mavericks hired him. You saw how distraught. Like, LeBron James this summer was distraught about two things: losing Jason Kidd and losing Jared Dudley, honestly. LeBron, I've been watching LeBron his whole career. I know the type of people he likes to have around him. Those are the type of people, like the Richard Jeffersons, the Channing Frys, like these basketball, like, when you look at them, they're kind of like awkward and lame, but they're just basketball savants, and they're funny, and they're just down to earth. That is what LeBron likes. Yeah. That is what he likes. And when they got rid of Duds, he was pissed. Like, he was really pissed. Well, they didn't get rid of him. They didn't bring him back. But when Kidd left, he was really pissed off about that as well. So the combination of two guys who, like, we saw when LeBron was out, he was hurt last weekend or a weekend and a half ago. Russell Westbrook had 35 points, 12 assists. Like, he looked like OKC Russ, but he can't beat OKC Russ for this team to prevail. And if Frank Vogel, and I understand legacy and all this stuff, if Frank Vogel was a smart enough coach, Russell Westbrook would have been coming off the bench week 3, because that is where he's best suited, with the second unit. Him starting, it messes up the flow. Like, you see how they go down by 15 points quickly. So it's like, too much firepower. It's not even just too much firepower. It's just, it's kind of too much firepower, but in the same mindset, because Kyrie Irving, Harden, and Durant, it's not too much firepower. That's a lot of firepower. But when they're able to play together, that shit works. With Russ, there's a reason why Russ couldn't work with KD and OKC. The reason why he couldn't work with Bradley Beal. He couldn't work with James Harden. LeBron thought he could save him, but he's just not that type of player. Where they need, like, if they would have had a Chris Paul, for example, this team with Chris Paul instead of Russell Westbrook, what are they right now? 26 or 29? They would be 50-9 or whatever right now. That's just the kind of person they needed in the locker room. And unfortunately, they dropped the ball with that. Now, when it comes to trade talks for Russ, all I'm hearing is that the only trade that's out there, John Wall for him and like a 2027 draft pick. That's all. That's the only trade I see that's out there. So if you're the Lakers, you got Russell Westbrook that plays every night. He does. However erratic he plays, he's been on the court every night. And John Wall, who's had effed up knees for the last couple of years, what would you do if you're Pelinka right now? Like, you just abandon ship?
If I'm Pelinka, man, I'm trying to find a way to get Buddy healed. That's what I'm trying to do.
That
I'm
shit's
trying
over, bro. It's over. He got traded. He got traded.
I know, but they're already saying dangling him again. Like, he's being dangled again. Like, they're not set on keeping him. So remember how I told you other guys are going to get moved at the deadline? Like, it happened. It comes to fruition. Von Miller was one I told you in football. I read on trade stuff a lot. If I'm the Lakers, I'm looking to get another party into this because Russell Westbrook's contract is going to be big. So the compensation to go behind it is it's got to match another contract.
Who wants that contract? He's due $47 million next year.
Bro, there's a sucker born every day. And if oh God.
Yeah,
if
Sacramento's
yeah,
got a sucker.
exactly.
And Buddy Hield's already gone.
and Tyrese Halliburton too. It makes no sense. While Michael, like, they shit on that guy Bagley all the time and he's still there. I don't get it. So if it's me and I'm Pelinka, I got to look at this from all points of view. I got to look at it that what's his plus to minus ratio? It's not good. What's he look like in the offense? Can he take a lesser role and not poo-poo about it? Can he run with the second unit? He won't. We all know that.
Well,
so it's me,
I would say maybe he would. I mean, he's benched him in the fourth quarter already 3 times. Like, to my knowledge, I've seen it happen 3 times now. So yeah. What can he say?
I don't think
bench
he would. But Vogel's been given the green light to bench Russ, and all he's doing is benching him in the fourth. Because I guarantee there's politics in sports, we know that. There's politics with agents, there's politics with coaching, there's politics with players, especially LeBron James, who's the biggest politician out there when you look at him at a sports point of view. But if I'm looking at Pelinka, I'm also looking at this contract that if we keep him, he's the highest paid player on the Lakers right now.
He's 1,000% the highest paid player.
Yeah. So you've got to move it. You've got to move that contract. And if the best you can get is John Wall and draft picks, fuck it. The Lakers don't have any draft picks. Get those draft picks.
This is how bad it is.
Oh, they got to give up draft picks.
They got to give up draft picks with him. Like, come on. That's demoralizing. Bro, we're talking about a former MVP, 4-time triple-double winner, like in a row. And they're asking for him with a draft pick. like to me, it's demoralizing. And they don't have any draft picks to give up. Like, this is a 2027 first round pick. That's their next first round pick. LeBron's not going to be playing basketball to 2027. AD, God knows what's up with his injury history. He might not be playing basketball in 2027. They're in a bad situation right now. The last thing they need to do is probably give up a draft pick. To me, that would be a tough pill to swallow. When I know it's LA and people want to come play for LA, but how they're built right now, they're headed right back for the toilet. Like, this happened after they won the world championship with Kobe and them back in the day. They headed right to the toilet. Like, they got rid of Andrew Bynum, and then Dwight Howard came through and Steve Nash came through. But remember, people don't remember, until LeBron got back there, it was years to futility in Los Angeles. It was Lob City with the Clippers. And to me, that's where they're headed right now. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George will be back next year. They got a pretty decent roster for them to come back to. So that's, to me, what I'm anticipating right now.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. The Russ thing is like I don't. It's sad that we have to do this to him. It's kind of like
No.
it's very disrespectful to a man and his talent and all that. It's just it doesn't work out, and it was a bad trade for the Lakers to do.
But the
Um,
fans don't even want him. Like they
yeah,
please don't shoot Russ, please.
dude, players are
Boo.
walking away when he shoots. It's bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I heard
Giannis and them gritty, and was it Big Eyes? Bobby Portis hitting the gritty on them in the middle of a game up 30. Oh, it was sick.
I heard the I heard the Knicks may look at him too, which I don't want that, but I mean they had a package with draft picks and
Wait, was that real? I thought that was fake.
no, I've heard some because they want to shed some of the contracts they got because it's not working out. But I don't know why you would take on just one giant one. Then they've always have a connection to Russ, but I don't.
He'll do good for the fashion industry there.
It'd be great, but I don't think Russ is the guy that we need. I think we're good with Barrett doing everything that he's doing right now.
What was the return looking like?
It would just be for Russ.
I know, but what would the Knicks send over? Would be? I know I saw Kemba Walker,
Kemba, all the contracts they got, all the contract. Evan Fournier, Kemba, Evan Fournier, I think Burks, and then a first and a second.
All for Russ?
All for Russ to make everything add up contract wise because his contract is that big.
I mean, Burks is not bad. I mean, he's a bucket. He played as a Knicks fan. Did Burks ever play defense like that? I don't even think so.
No, Burks don't play defense.
Fournier definitely don't play no defense.
Yeah.
So to me, and Kemba Walker had bad. No, this is a bad trade.
They're bad regardless. Like it's dumb regardless. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah. But whoever takes on Russ they need to know that Russ has to be your focal point, and then whoever you had as your star on that team better be able to succumb to Russ because it's I don't see him striving anywhere now. Like he's kind of carved out his name in stone of who he is.
All right. Let's get to the second name, Damien Lillard, because that to me would be where Russ can shine. Ain't nobody in Portland no more. That would be the perfect Russ situation where Russ can just have a bunch of randos around him, and that's when Russ is at his best. And then Dame, this is how I describe Dame Lillard's situation as. Damian Lillard is like the dude that's getting cheated on by his girl in his own bed. Evidence is being left behind, knowing that he's being cheated on, and he's still saying, my heart's still here. I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna see it through. I love it. I love it here. I'm like, bro, they got rid of CJ McCollum. They got rid of Norman Powell. They got rid of Robert Covington. If they get rid of Nurkic and you still want to stay around, bro, I don't know what you are smoking, Dame. But to me, I was doing like the NBA trade simulator yesterday. The trade works. You got send Russ and THT over to Portland. Now you got THT as a young building block. You got Russ to just keep butts in the seats in Portland and kind of start that rebuild with a bunch of young talent. And then in LA, you get Dame. You might get Justice Winslow out of it too. I don't know. That's to me that I'm looking at that situation because as a Sixers fan and a LeBron fan, I'm trying to figure out which one of us is going to get Dame. Dame is not coming to the East Coast. I think that's clear because he said if he is to get traded, he wants to stay in the West Coast, right? So to me, it ain't gonna be Sacramento, it ain't gonna be the Clippers, it ain't gonna be Golden State. So where else is he gonna go? To me, the Lakers are the only team. To me, right now, that would make sense for him to go to. They're a big market for him, West Coast. It's not like it's to me the vibes would be good for him. It'd be good for It'd be good for him. Him, LeBron, and AD. That would be a beautiful thing. It wouldn't help what they needed. It wouldn't help them defensively, which I still think they need to figure that part out. But to me, Russ get a fresh start in Portland. They might buy him out. Who knows?
And then the Lakers buy him back for cheap. No, Dame is the player that I really like. Dame is the kind of guy he's like Giannis. We were all saying the same thing about Giannis. Like, yo, just fucking leave. Just leave, man.
Look at the team that Giannis had. Giannis, all he needed was a Drew Holiday. That's all he needed. Portland, all they need is God and a lot of luck.
Let's not act like they haven't been to the Western Conference Finals a couple times. Like they're
They don't have those same players no more. None of them are gone. They're all gone.
I know, and they fired the head coach, who I liked a lot. I agree with you on that.
This is KG in Minnesota. This is the same situation right now.
This is, but Dame is just cut from a different cloth, and and I respect that. There's some guys that want to win championships, and there's guys that are just loyal to them because they came from nothing and they gave them a shot and made them who they are. So I see that, but I guarantee you, Portland is also telling Dame, they're like, yo, bro, like we love you, like we're gonna make a statue of you. We're gonna this is gonna be a thing every time. Like we want you to win though, man. But I guarantee he's like, nah, this is me. I like living in Portland. It's fun. This is the thing that I like. That's just the way he is, man. And I respect that.
That's what happened with KG. KG was not trying to go anywhere. And they had to beg him, like, look, we need to rebuild. And we're going to waste the rest of your career if you are still here. Therefore, please, with all due respect, there's a team over there in Boston that's ready to win a championship. Go. Just go. And he went. Dame, I think they didn't have look, Chauncey Billups, the Allen family, they just need to like, look, Dame, look, everything you've done for this team, we appreciate it so much. We know loyalty and respect is a big thing for you. Your loyalty is crazy for us. We are not winning a championship in the next 5 to 7 years. You, my friend, are, I think he's like 30 now. You're wasting the rest of your career here. We'll build you that statue. You have a front row seat whenever you want to come back. But as of right now, for your sake, we appreciate everything you've done for us. But LeBron and AD need some help.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. But that's gonna be on him, man. Like that's gonna be on him to move. And I think he's not gonna move this year. And I think during the offseason,
Russell Westbrook is out tonight, by the way.
Yeah, he's
lower
gonna
back
get
tightness. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
He's
lower
getting
back.
He's getting traded.
He's getting traded, man. But what if he goes to the Sixers?
Russ? Daryl Morey's already had Russell Westbrook. He ain't coming to the damn Sixers.
I know.
He loves him some James Harden, trust me.
But back to Dame, I think Dame just like right now, he just had another kid. So like he wants to focus on his family right now. He's not obviously coming back to play this year. And I think once the season is done. Yeah.
How bad is his injury though?
I don't know.
He had the abdominal strain.
I don't think he's coming back though, bro. The way it looks, I don't think he's coming back. What's the reason for him to come back?
To come win a championship with LeBron and my mans. They say he's gonna be all right. On January 13th, they say he'd be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks, which would be around All-Star break. Between All-Star break and March. Yeah, you're probably right. LeBron had it. Well, no, he didn't get the surgery. CJ McCollum had collapsed lungs. He came back. I don't know. You're probably right. I don't know, man.
Let's see, but I don't really see him like doing anything, man. So we just got to see what'll happen. I don't think he's going to move with the trade. I think he's going to literally just coast the rest of the season and then talk about it. But like, I'm on the same page as you. Like, come to New York. That's all we need. We need Dame Lillard in New York. Yeah, Philly needs Dame Lillard in Philly. The Lakers need him.
I need more than Dame right now. I need help.
Dame would be a big step. Dame would be a very big step for players that want to come play in New York.
Right.
He would look great in Philly. He would look great in LA. He'd look great anywhere else he goes, except for obviously Sacramento. No one go to Sacramento.
Yeah, that's where your career goes to end, basically. So Domantas Sabonis, boy, I feel bad for you, my friend. But maybe it might work. I don't know, but the track record doesn't smell right with Sacramento.
Yeah, they should just send him to Portland with Dame and see what could get out of that. Be like his daddy. But
I'm just reading all this Dame stuff. It's just that man's staying, man. He ain't going nowhere.
Not gonna go anywhere. But let's talk Harden and Simmons, because that's the trade that's being thrown around a lot lately. And we've seen some of the framework of it. They're trying to get Maxey in the deal too, and the Sixers would be dumb to get rid of Maxey. So Daryl Morey, do you think he's smart for even entertaining a James Harden trade? I'll ask you as a Sixers fan.
As a Sixers fan, personally, I can do without James Harden. Personally, not saying that he's a bad player, not saying that he's not one of the better shooting guards of all time. As far as just, I mean, God, he averaged 35 points a game this season. Like he's an elite offensive talent. My problem with James Harden is that he don't stay in shape, and we already got somebody who don't like to stay in shape. And B, having an MVP year, but he's about 2 cheeseburgers away from messing up his knees somehow. Like, and I'm happy everything that he's being able to do. So I love what we're doing. We're doing this without having that second star yet, which is fantastic, which I'm actually impressed with. But obviously, we need that second star to make that next leap. Now, out of the people who are available to be that second star, Bradley Beal broke his wrist. He's out for the year, so can't be him, who I thought would be a better transition. To me, Bradley Beal would have been better fit because he doesn't need the ball. Bradley Beal will be open, and he will shoot, and he will make it. That is how I feel with Brad. Now, Harden, the problem that Harden was having in Brooklyn, why it's not working out there, he doesn't know his role. And he's been saying that since the beginning of the season. Like, I don't know if I should be playing point guard or two. He said that last year. I don't know if I'm playing point guard or two guard. With us, obviously, Maxi's our point guard. He would be our two guard, but is he going to be the ball dominant two guard? And that I don't know. And I love what Maxi's done for us. I love what Embiid's done for us. I don't want him to come to the team and feel like he needs to demand the ball for him to be great. I need him to be a catch and shoot type of player. So I'd prefer somebody who could shoot as efficiently as him from three, but play way better defense than he plays. That's what I would prefer. Now, Darren Murray is obsessed with him. He loves him. Analytics, all that shit. But I saw analytics be the reason why they didn't win any championships in Houston. And I don't want that to be our fate in Philly. But as a Sixers fan, I'm very realistic. I know if we go that route, we'll be a good team, but we'll still lose to Milwaukee. We'll probably still lose to Miami. Like, even with all that, we'd still be the third best team because I think Brooklyn, I don't know what the heck to make of them anymore. But to me, it'll still be Miami, Milwaukee before us anyway. So it would be nice to have him if we have an established role for him where he doesn't have to be ball dominant and feel like he needs to do everything. Because that's not good for – and B got to eat, bro. Like, well, I see Kobe and Shaq, they worked because Kobe at least recognized, all right, big man, the big fella got to eat. Bro. He going to get 30 and 15. He better go get that 30 and 15. I'm going to give you my 30 and 8 or 30 and 6, but the big fella got to eat. I don't know if James Harden is equipped to be like the big fella got to eat. That's my big concern. So would it be nice to have him? I mean, it's better than not having Ben Simmons play, but would I be sad if we didn't get him? No, not really. But we obviously, without him, we're not a legitimate contender. With him, we're more legitimate. I feel like we take depending on what we want to give up, because they're asking for like Tybal and Seth Curry and all this. I'm like, hell no. All I'm willing to, the best I can do for you, like we said last week, the best I can do is Ben Simmons and Danny Green. Y'all can have a first round pick. I'll give y'all that. But the best I can do is Ben Simmons and Danny Green. Otherwise, I'm not losing Seth Curry. That is a 45% 3-point shooter, like big time 3-point shooter and a great free throw shooter. I'm not losing Matisse Thybulle. He's the best wing defender to me in the NBA. And I'm not losing Maxey. I'm not losing. I mean, then the Tobias Harris, I heard him get involved and stuff. They're trying to find a third team for Tobias Harris. I don't hate Tobias Harris. I think he's better suited as a third or fourth option, but I mean, I wouldn't want to lose his offense too just to get James Harden.
He's been there a while. He has chemistry with the team, so
he does have chemistry. So, and he plays a little bit of defense too.
I hate how everybody shits on him because everywhere he's gone, he's been successful.
Yeah, so. I'll tell you, my only issue is that we paid him a lot of damn money to be a third or fourth option. That's all. We paid him $185 million to be okay. He's averaging. What is he averaging this year? He's not, maybe 20 points a game.
That's pretty good, man. Come on, that's
all
pretty
right.
good.
19 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. If you get in a max deal, I need you to be an all-star. He wasn't even considered for the all-star game as a reserve. That's
But
where
Andrew
my
Wiggins
mind
was.
is kind of
But
like.
Andrew Wiggins was so.
It used to be hard to get into the all-star game in the West Coast.
It
Now
is,
all the talent in the East.
I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm the 76ers, there's a black cloud in the organization. And Daryl Morey.
Black cloud? Oh,
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons is the black cloud.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
So Ben Simmons is still in the organization. He's still getting checks from the organization. So
he getting fined too.
he's getting fined too.
He lost $19 million this year in fines. His dumbass.
Can't change them. Regardless, what I'm getting at is that you've got a black cloud, and Daryl Morey literally has an umbrella over the team with the holes in it. So it's coming in, and that's infiltrating and hurting the team. What they were like one earlier in the year, and now they're slowly like middle of the pack right now, right? The Sixers.
As far as like standing,
yeah, where are they at?
Yeah, we're 3rd or 4th in the East right now, but we were only 1 for like a couple of days. That wasn't
okay. Well, regardless,
I will say I think we're actually over. We're 5th right now, 32-22. I think we're only first of all, we're only 2.5 games behind first. I think we're actually overperforming.
For middle of the pack, doesn't matter. Still middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack. 2.5 games out of first place is not middle of the pack. 11 games out of first place, like the New York Knicks. That's bad.
I'm not talking about my Knicks.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Don't get on me. I'm telling you.
I got into defense mode. My cousin, he's a Knicks fan. He was texting me earlier, and I've been on edge ever since. I'm like, don't you dare talk about basketball with me right now.
I get happy when they win a game, but what I'm trying to get at is Daryl Morey literally has a hard on for 2 players that he wants to get. Either is James Harden or it was Bradley Beal. And then Bradley Beal broke his wrist or whatever it is. So that's not going to happen. Now your next best bet is James Harden, a guy he's worked with for a long time that he understands. And I think it'll work. I think James is hungry for a championship. I think James is the kind of guy actually, I take that back. We've seen James Harden get too many supporting cast and it doesn't work. We've seen Dwight Howard. We've seen Chris Paul. We've seen Russell Westbrook. I think James Harden is the kind of guy that has to be the center of the offense once again. So it's going to be tough.
If Embiid's not the center of the offense, I don't want him to be. I don't want him to be on the team. It's that simple for me. Yeah. Embiid is right now playing also Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal kind of shit. I am not wasting that for James Harden to dribble, and look for a foul. And like, oh, where's my call? Not sacrificing that talent for that crap. That I won't have.
Yeah, they should. There's so many places that he should be shopping them, and I feel like the Nets want way too much. But I'd be trying to get anything for him. Like even Grant, get Jerian Grant back bring him back to where he started his basketball at. Like that'd be another good option, I guess. But Daryl Morey won't pull the trigger on anything. He's holding this guy hostage.
He wants one guy. It's annoying as hell.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe he knows something we don't know.
What does he know? James Harden is going to be out of shape when he gets on the team. He's going to look for foul calls that are not there because they don't call those bullshit fouls anymore. And he's going to dribble. And then in Game 7 of the NBA Conference Championship, he's going to have them shoot 27 straight threes and be mad that they don't beat Golden State to get to the finals in 2018. That is Daryl Morey. That's what he knows.
I mean, let's we can't call it until we see it, man. I'm looking out for you. But the one thing that they need to do is get rid of Ben Simmons because this is becoming ridiculous. This is stupid. Daryl Morey should get anything he can for him. And
they opened up. They said they'd accept him back if he wants to come back and play. And
he doesn't want to, though.
If he wants to be here, yeah, we'll take him back.
But he doesn't want to. It's a bad breakup, and it's like they're continually trying to do it. They went to couples therapy. They call each other fuckers. They threw the middle finger. He keyed the car. He broke the windshield. It's just bad. It's not good.
And you're still living under your house in the basement.
Yeah. You got to let this guy go. Let him go. Give him his fresh start. because we all know Ben Simmons has talent. We see it. He just has no mid-range and he's scared. He's obviously a soft player. So maybe he develops that with some other team, but I don't know. I think he's soft. I think
if he could do it, I've seen him do it during the summer. It's in his head. It's in his head.
We were promised the second coming of LeBron James of the size and ball handle and stature. Boy, were they super wrong.
But you know the difference? Just really quickly, I'm looking at Ben Simmons' Instagram page right now. He hasn't taken down any of the Sixers stuff. Colin Murray wiped this whole damn page because he wants a contract extension or something. Ben Simmons still got the Philly shit on here. He still got it on here. I unfollowed him a long time ago because I didn't want to see his face no more. But I'm on his page right now. He's still got it up. Still got it up.
Who are some other players you think that could get moved?
I mean, the big names have already been moved. I mean, everybody. I wouldn't even say big names. I said big teams. I mean, obviously, everyone's looking at Jeremy Grant. That's a big piece. Miles Turner. That's a big piece. I think, but the team. I think
moving Sabonis is kind of like told the Pacers, like, "Hey, we're gonna keep you. We're sorry. Like, you're better. We don't know why we decided to go after that guy. My bad."
I would just pay attention to the teams that are buyers and sellers. I think Detroit still might be a seller. I think Indiana still might be a seller. I think Brooklyn's going to be a buyer because they probably look. Kevin Durant is not going to get any less hurt than he already. Look, when you have a leg injury a couple times in your career, these things keep on happening. It doesn't just go away magically. And the frame that Kevin Durant has, he's going to keep having these injuries. So to me, James Harden, it's clear. James Harden is not going to resign in the summer. It will be stupid of them to not trade James Harden. Unless they really think they can win a championship this year with part-time playing Kyrie Irving, not always hurt, but lately hurt Kevin Durant, and then James Harden, a guy who doesn't want to be there, they need to trade his ass. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, we're going to look at the Russ situation. We'll look at the John Wall situation because he hasn't played basically all season because they said they're going to trade him. So to me, Detroit, Houston, LA, Brooklyn, Philly, Indiana as a seller. Portland, we'll see what happens with Dame, but you're probably right there with Dame probably sticking around. Another team I'll probably look at randomly to sell would be like Orlando, actually. I think Orlando has a good young nucleus that they know they're going to want to trust. So guys like Terrence Ross could be on the move. Mo Bamba could actually be on the move as well, because they're probably looking at a bottom 3 seed. So they probably get the dude from Duke, or they get a homie from Chet Holmgren or whatever from Gonzaga, or a homie from Auburn as well. So to me, Orlando could be looking to sell as well. I heard John Collins from Atlanta could probably be moved because he doesn't like his role there. There's a lot of good talent available between now and when y'all listen to the show. So by the time y'all listen to this, it's possible that all these players that I mentioned be moved, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that could be sellers. And
Boston should buy. Boston should buy. They're winning. They winning now. We were talking about this for the last couple of weeks. I didn't believe in Boston when we first started. We first started talking about Boston like 3 weeks ago. Like, yeah, what's up with them? Are they buyers or sellers? I think Boston should start looking to buy because Cleveland is better, Milwaukee is better, Miami's better, Chicago's better, Philly's better, and they're right now looking at the playing situation. So if they want to make some headway into this Eastern Conference, they should probably try to get a player right now to see what they can get. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. They're talking about moving Marcus Smart right now.
Yeah, to I think for
Atlanta.
I heard either Minnesota or Denver or something like that.
Nah, the Atlanta for Bogdanovich is what they want.
Another shooter.
That'd be a good shooter for them, but how many more shooters do you need?
I know but that takes away a little bit of heart from the locker room. Marcus Smart is still the heartbeat. Yeah. So I don't know.
I know Townie hates him, but
I know. Marcus Smart.
But he's a good defender, and he gets calls, man. He gets the calls he needs, and he's the heartbeat.
He's a veteran. At the end of the day, a veteran is going to be a veteran. So he's a veteran. A young vet. Well,
Yeah.
he a vet.
But yeah, there's gonna be I feel like tomorrow's the last day, right?
Thursday at 3. Well, for you listeners, it's Thursday at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Thursday, February 10th at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., something like that, is the end of the trade deadline. But
Buyout.
in the NBA, that buyout situation is different. Like people will cut players, and you can buy the hell out of some players. So I would definitely pay a lot of attention to the buyout portion of it.
Yeah, and I know the Knicks are throwing a lot of names out there too. I know Fournier's one, Burks, Kemba. I don't mind if any of those guys go, to be honest with you, but they'd be stupid to
Kemba, yeah, man. We talked about Kemba for some time now. He made a slight little comeback for a couple of weeks, and then you know how Thibodeau works, bro. Hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna just apologize to you. Thibodeau, I know he will get you somewhere for a second, but this is who he is. This is who he
goes. I also don't think he has like the right team to play with. I think a lot of those
runs guys, to the ground, bro. He runs that team to the ground.
I know.
But RJ Barrett got hurt in the last minute of a game with nights, like he hurt his ankle. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, take him out the game. Y'all losing. I don't know, man. That's Thibodeau for you.
There is, but he has too many like old heads on that team. Like Derrick Rose. Like Derrick Rose ain't Derrick Rose no more. Derrick Rose is 1 foot out the NBA. I'm sorry. And Taj Gibson, I don't know why he's even got a job still. And
Taj, right? Goddamn. Yeah. Taj. Like, but you know, he likes his former players, bro. That's what. Hey, you played for me in Chicago? Come on down. You play for me in Minnesota? Yeah. Come on down.
Yeah, and that's not bad. It's just like it's
bad. You're too fixated on the.
No. It's fine to have one. It's fine to have one. Yeah. Okay, like a Udonis Haslem that's never going to play a game, but a good locker room guy, and he's going to be there and keep everything together. But 2 guys, it's just too much. So
2 old guys that have bad knees and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just one. They need one more star. But I'm not going to get into the Knicks. But like what I was going to get is like if they try and move Julius Randle, like that'll be the dumbest thing that they do because we're going right back to the fucking cellar if that's the case. So
yep. That's what's his name, Dolan.
Yeah. They don't need to move anybody but role players. If anything, you want some role players that we have on cheap contracts, take them. Take them. Favorable trades. The Kemba Walker signing, favorable trade. The Evan Fournier contract was a little too high for me, but trade him. Get rid of him.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. There's a lot of names still to be thrown out. We'll see what happens. I'm really curious what's going to happen with Russ. I think if the Lakers are, kind of like a standby organization or stand-up organization, they'll keep him. But
they will. You know what? They're gonna keep him. You know why? Because the buck stops with LeBron. And LeBron genuinely likes the Russell Westbrook as a human being. And LeBron, I mean, at the end of the day, LeBron is 37. He just want to play with his friends now, bro. I don't think he really, he's already accomplished. He's about to be the all-time leading scorer. He's got 4 rings. He's got multiple MVPs. He's got a beautiful family. His son's about to get into the league. I think at this point, let me just ride out the rest of my career with people who I really mess with. Like I mess with Carmelo Anthony. Shoot me for wanting to play with one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like remember he had D Wade back in Cleveland. They traded him at the deadline for him to go back to Miami to retire. But hey, shoot me for him to play one of my friends. He wanted Anthony Davis because he likes Anthony Davis. Shoot me for that. He had Russell Westbrook at all his Taco Tuesdays when he was with OKC still. Shoot me for him to play with my dog Russ. Like at the end of the day, Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, like this is what LeBron likes. All right, he likes to play with guys that he just feels comfortable with. That's why he wanted Richard Jefferson, Chandler Fry, Jared Dudley, certain guys in the locker room with him. I rock with this dude. I want to play with him. If it doesn't work, figure it out. Figure it out. But hey, the big 3 is really Malik Monk, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis anyway. These guys bring Russ off the bench, and he got to be okay with it. That's my opinion.
I agree. All right, let's wrap up the show. We got a fun segment. We're gonna do start, bench, cut, and we're doing only year 3 or like up to year 3 in the leagues of both of these. We're gonna do NBA and we're gonna do NFL.
Just get it.
So we're gonna start NFL. Quarterback: Justin Herbert, Mac Jones, Joe Burrow.
I'm starting Joe Burrow. I'm benching Justin Herbert, and I am cutting Mac Jones.
Same exact thing I'm doing.
That was not too hard. And I love Mac Jones, but nah, bro. He ain't got the talent of those two guys. I mean, it's not even close. He's already reached his upside. So
All right, this one's gonna pierce you a little
Can you
bit.
give me somebody other than Mac Jones so I can actually think about this one?
I'm trying to think of someone who's been in the league 3
Josh
years.
Allen. Let me think. Let's go Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow. All right. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow. Damn. That one's better. That one's better for me.
I'm still cutting Josh Allen.
Man, that's tough. That one's tough. All right. I'm gonna start Joe Burrow. I'm gonna bench Josh Allen. I'm gonna cut Justin Herbert.
I'd flip it for me.
I got it. Justin Herbert. I love Herbert. That's a cut in which I cut him and I call his agent real quick. Hey, just because he's cut don't mean he cut. Like, hey, get him back on the phone. He wants to come back. But Josh Allen, man, he's a physical specimen, man. Like he's Cam Newton mixed with Andrew Luck. That's just how I see it.
I'd still keep Herbert over.
That's fair. I mean, that's not a wrong answer. It's just preference at that point. All right, next.
All right, let's hit you a little bit with this one. Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders, Najee Harris.
All right, I would just say take Miles Sanders off the list and give me somebody else because he's not even in the category.
Throw Nick Chubb in there then.
Bet. All right. Yeah. All right. That one's better. I'm starting Jonathan Taylor. I'm benching Nick Chubb and I'm letting Najee Harris walk. I know that's your boy.
That would Chubb and Harris are my boys. I love them both, man. But
you love Najee Harris. That's your boy.
I do love Najee Harris. If we kept Miles Sanders, I give him his papers. And
bro,
Najee
come
Harris,
on, Miles Sanders. That cannot be on the list, bro. I'm sorry. That's embarrassing.
I looked at 3-year running backs. Max 3 years.
That Najee Harris and Jonathan Taylor are in a different.
DeAndre Swift. Give him DeAndre Swift then.
How about this? Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, and Najee Harris.
Najee Harris gets that start for me.
Whoa. Let's think about it. DeAndre Swift, Miles Sanders, and Najee Harris. All right, go ahead.
Najee Harris starts. Bro, I really have a lot of respect for Miles Sanders. I do. I would
can't score no damn touchdowns.
Just gets no touchdowns. Bench him, and then I'd probably cut Swift.
Yeah, I'll do the same. That's because Miles is my boy. I can't do that to him. I'll do the same.
All right, let's go wide receiver. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf. I feel like this is a good one.
This pisses me off because we drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, and we drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf. Just so you know how pissed off I am about this list right now. I'm starting.
I put DK on there.
Oh, man.
I was going to say A.J. Brown, but I was like, nah, let's throw DK.
I'm going to let you go. I got to take a deep breath about this one. I'm going to let you go.
This one is tough for me. Because all three are good in year 1, year 2, and year 3. If it were me, this is tough.
Yeah,
I like big body receivers. I like big body receivers, and I like personality. I am starting DK. I'm benching Justin, and I'm cutting Jamar Chase.
Wow,
that is hard for me to say that.
Wow,
that's hard for me to say that.
Listen, DK Metcalf can who's one of my favorite receivers of all time that played for the Eagles? Terrell Owens. DK Metcalf can very well be the next physical specimen that Terrell Owens is. And maybe not statistically catch him, but just as far as impact on the field. With that being said, I'm cutting DK Metcalf, though. You started him. I'm cutting him. I'm actually starting Justin Jefferson, and I'm benching Jamar Chase, even though that's real tight for me.
Yeah, I know. It's hard for me to even say all those ones right there.
But you cut who'd you cut? Jamar Chase?
I cut Jamar Chase.
Damn,
only because
of
his 1 year in the league.
I'm starting Justin Jefferson. I like his swag a lot. I
like his swag too.
I'm a bench Jamar Chase, but he's like 6 man of the year kind of bench. DK, and I love that man, but I gotta let him walk. I gotta let him walk.
All right, let's go NBA now. We're gonna stick to guards. First overall pick, Cade Cunningham. Recently traded Tyrese Halliburton.
Jeez.
Or first-time All-Star Darius Garland.
Bro, I've been high on Darius Garland this year, man. I really have. Off the respect of how I've been high on him this year, I gotta start Darius Garland. I have to. And Tyrese Halliburton, to me, his upside is insane, so I gotta bench him. Cade Cunningham could very well be the next guy for Detroit, like the next guy that just really carries him. But he plays in Detroit, and because he plays in Detroit, it's a black hole, and I won't trust anybody who plays in Detroit. So I gotta give Cade Cunningham his pink slip, and hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass.
I'm starting Garland. I'm benching Cunningham because I know something's going to be good out of that.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Halliburton because everyone's so high on this guy. And he played in Sacramento and he averaged 12 or 13 a game his rookie year. And he's only averaging 12 or 13. He's efficient. But is he a game changer? He's going to do like the next James Harden or something like that.
The only thing I don't like about Halliburton, I think his jump shot's kind of ugly, actually.
Yeah.
You know what?
To me, him and Malcolm Brogdon are the same player.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna let Cade Cunningham bench. I'm gonna let Halliburton go off the strength of it's just that Detroit shit always bothers me. But I like Cade Cunningham. I gotta do this shit for Detroit. So yeah, let me get. I picked the Rams to win because of Stafford. He's doing it for Calvin Johnson. He's doing it for Barry Sanders. He's doing it for all of us. And Cade Cunningham is doing it for the bad boy Pistons. So let's do it.
All right. Forward, I got Scotty Barnes, I got RJ Barrett, and I got Zion Williamson.
Damn.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Damn. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear you. I want to see if
Go ahead.
Okay, if this is me, this one is tough for me. And I'm not thinking with my heart on this. I'm thinking because I watch him play a lot and I see him play smart, efficient basketball.
Starting RJ Barrett. Go ahead.
I'm going to start RJ Barrett.
All right, Scotty or Zion? What are you doing, bro? Be honest.
I'm benching Scotty Barnes and I'm cutting Zion Williamson only for the fact that Zion can't stay healthy and he's just a big question mark. We've been teased with it. We've been teased too much with Zion. And I feel like his sample size is too small. We know what he can become. But is his floor, is his ceiling, is it Blake Griffin? Or is it
it's
Charles
Blake
Barkley? What is it?
Okay. Who has Scotty Barnes been like compared to? As far as like NBA players, is there anybody that you can think of that's Scotty Barnes can be like so and so?
I remember in college he was off the bench. He came off the bench at Florida State.
I think if I was just going upside on this one, somehow I gotta still start Zion. Somehow I gotta still start Zion. Because
I want to keep him. Don't get me wrong. I want to keep him, but like he's the guy.
If I'm the GM, I'm doing whatever it takes just to make sure he's on my roster. Because if he does decide to lose weight, because Charles Barkley eventually decided to lose weight, and I've seen a lot of players. There's a lot of players I've watched in basketball. Zion's skill set that's different. So basically, would I rather have a Blake Griffin, or would I rather have an Evan Mobley, who could be like a what? Poor Chris Bosh, not really. Whose career would I prefer? I mean, Chris Bosh was great because he went to Miami.
It's too early to call, bro. Cleveland's doing great, and Evan.
And then I'm looking at RJ Barrett, the left-handed maestro, whom I love. And I said coming out of the draft, I would go John Morant 1, I'd go Zion 2, and I'd go RJ Barrett 3. And so
Barrett went 3.
Which he did. So to me, he obviously is up there for me. So, but I did say Zion first, so I got to go Zion. And I'm between Scotty Barnes and your boy, and I got to go with Barnes because I'm gonna take size. I'm gonna take size over the lefty.
Okay.
I'm gonna take size over the lefty.
It's okay. Shit on my Knicks. It's all right. All right. Let's go big men now. Not a lot of big men, so I had to like do what I could in 3-year span. So Evan Mobley, DeAndre Ayton, and then I just threw another Nick in there, Mitchell Robinson.
You gotta give me somebody better than him because he's not making my list.
No,
he doesn't even have a chance.
It was Jaren Jackson Jr. He's a power forward though.
Give me like Jared Allen or something. I don't know. Give me John Collins. Bro. Mitchell Robinson does not make the list.
3-year players, and watch your tone. The motherfucker grabs rebounds and is efficient on the court. He just gets in foul trouble. That's it,
bro. On this list, DeAndre Ayton is starting by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Mobley is benched by a mile, and Mitchell Robinson might not make my 12-man roster. So I'm going to find another center for you. I mean, damn.
There's not a lot. I looked at it. There's
Mitchell
not a lot.
Robinson?
Bro, that's all I could find that was worth a shit.
Dog, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing to our listeners. I am sorry. Mitchell Robinson is not in the category with these guys. Bam, I would say Bam Miles Turner.
Bam isn't 3 years though.
Man, screw 3 years, man. Give me what's up with Christian Wood? Give me Christian Wood. Yeah.
Okay, Christian Wood then. Take Christian Wood in.
Christian Wood or Wendell Carter Jr. Anybody but Homie. Homie is not even on the list.
Wendell Carter Jr. is nothing. Mitchell Robinson is better than Wendell Carter
All
Jr.
right. Evan Mobley, Wendell Carter Jr., and Christian Wood.
I'm starting Evan Mobley. I'm benching Christian Wood, and I'm cutting Wendell Carter because he's just been a bust. So
all right, I'm starting Christian Wood. I'm letting Evan Mobley sit on the bench, and I'll let Wendell Carter and Mitchell Robinson take a back seat somewhere else. I am so sorry, guys. We put Mitchell Robinson on the same list of anybody we talk about this.
Put Miles Sanders on a fucking list. Get out of here.
That's you.
I did it for fun. I did 3-year players. You said Young Bucks, and I stuck with Young Bucks.
Mitchell Robinson is give me Obi Toppin. Don't give me Mitchell Robinson.
Fuck out of here, bro. Obi Toppin is a power forward anyways.
Whoa. Mitchell Robinson career average 8 and 7. God.
He averaging this year.
This year, 8 and 8.
That's pretty good.
Pretty what? Bro, this man is garbage. I am sorry. Hey, I am so sorry, y'all. DeAndre Ayton and Evan Mobley should be disrespected right now. But anyway, I'm gonna play A-Rod right now. That's the show. You can follow us on the Fairweather Pod at Twitter. Fairweather Podcast on Instagram, right?
Twitter fair underscore weather pod.
Weather Pod. What is the Instagram?
Fairweather Podcast.
Fairweather
YouTube,
Podcast.
Facebook.
YouTube. The Fairweather Podcast. The like the Ohio State. But screw Ohio State. We on Facebook. We should do a TikTok, but I don't know how to do all that viral stuff that y'all be doing. But figure it out. MySpace. We gonna reboot that. We both got the Rams to win, although our heart might be leaning one way. Probably, I don't know how you feel, but I think we got the Rams. We got the Rams. We want to shout out our guest Jamaal for being on the show today, doing his little Super Bowl preview, making his rounds. You know, he's a popular guy, so we happy that we got him for the time that we got him. Hey, Rob, what you got to say?
I said, everybody be safe. Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. That's all I got, man.
Mitchell Robinson, DeAndre Ayton, we are so sorry. We are so sorry that we allow Mitchell Robinson to enter the conversation. He can take his ass back to he can take his ass back to White Plains, New York. Peace.